What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's Showtime. It is Blazer King with King's Critiques, and we're back for ReZero. I'm gonna watch at least one more of these before night's end, try to get to like a good closure point. Though this show sometimes that is difficult. However, I didn't want to just leave it on this, at least for my recording session, because leaving things at certain points when trying to binge watch stuff really is just very uncomfy. Probably the better point of at least being able to wait until the first half of things were through before continuing on. But anyway, last episode, they had to go through some nonsense once they met up with Shala, and, now they had, specifically Subaru had to go through some sort of trial that they guessed that only he could do. And, of course, because of his surprisingly big brain involving real-world knowledge, he did so successfully, and now they were exactly where they need to be. However, few questions come to mind. One being, is Shala going to stab them in the back because she really was bullshitting them this whole time? And secondarily, are they going to be able to figure out what they need to figure out before it's too late? Let's find out. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Hit like, subscribe, and let the whole thing run through. And let's get started. Okay. Saying whoever thought this up was evil is insane, but I get why he said it. Because it's not like an actual library to where it's very obviously separated by, like, what type of knowledge it is, for example. It's just kind of like everywhere. Okay, no, hold on. This right here, this kind of thought process actually is exactly why I said what I said before. Of, like, there being another timeline of himself that's like way ahead in the future than where he currently is now. Now, is he the end villain? That's a better question. Because obviously Flugel, that was probably him too. He just went by a different name. Probably something that happened in Return by Death. Probably the exact reason why he knows anything and everything that can be known. Bruh. I gotta see how much further ahead the manga is than the anime, because this is one of those cases that really makes me want to read the manga, because that actually literally just gave more credibility to that thought process. Because only someone else that has existed in this world would be able to know that kind of stuff very off top of the head. Well, people that pay attention like I guess he does, but I digress. Amelia, sweetheart, I love where your brain's at, but there has got to be at least 1,000,000 books in this library. If he was going to check every single one of them, you'd be there a while. Because he might be a quick learner for some things, but I don't think he'd be a fast reader. Also, I'm not the only one that thinks she's talking out of her ass on this, because do you see the look Julius is giving her? like literally, he heard that and he looked at her like, bitch, are we going to really let him try to look over everything by himself? Okay, apparently she was correct, because the first book she opened and tried to look at just kind of went all dyslexia on her. Before I let this go, I'm going to just say, I'm not actually dyslexic myself. I see certain things as other things and misread things as other things. But for anyone who is actually dyslexic, and I'm sorry if this triggers you, is that basically what dyslexia is like? Like, I was trying to get a better image of it because the middle one kind of goes boom, but that didn't have enough time to do that. So is this basically what it's like? Okay, so they can read the titles of the books, which is probably at least kind of helpful to what they're looking for. I don't know how exactly it'd be helpful, but I'm sure Subaru will figure it out. Yeah, right? Like, it'd be so much more helpful if you could, like, the fuck is the command? Alt F? Whatever the command is to search up a specific name, if you could, like, just say aloud what you're looking for and it floats down to you. I think that'd be pretty cool. Just call out loud Rem or something, and then a bunch of books with Rem in the title show up. What book did he just find? Help? This book trapped me in some weird dimension. What'd I do? My man just fell into a book. Okay, that's a little fucked up for a bring your daughter to work day. Just saying. Okay, and putting her in the front row is also kind of devious and fucked up. She broke a glass and immediately feared for her life. That's crazy. Like, even an executioner probably wouldn't harm their own child, I'd want to think. Then again, this is book, whether it be fictional or someone's actual life story. That's a better question. See, he seems like a good man. Oh, or did that, like, taint her mind and, she thinks if she... Like, weirdly, a lot of modern day people. She thinks if she apologizes after the fact, that she'll suddenly get away with it. It's not how everything works. Just because your father said it doesn't mean it works everywhere. The way she just so blatantly asks, did you do a crime? Are you a bad guy? And he just looks at her like, no, I'm up here because I hugged kittens. Oh. Okay, so yeah, what happened with her father unlocked some magic capability in this young girl. I don't remember if this is a name that came up before and that's why it interested him, but the young girl named Typhoon. She asked this man if he was evil. He couldn't answer. So he disintegrated. And I thought that was like just in her point of view, but the horrified look on everyone's face, to whereas they normally cheer, yip, and holler for someone who's about to be executed, are horrified that he just disintegrated. So for what I'm about to say here, I did honestly try, but it just did not work out because I am still not that good at editing. But hey, I did give it a college try and Googled a couple things, and I just wanted to get this video up, so I'll try again some other time. Okay, thanks. Oh, I don't think I'll actually remember to edit this in. So, like, if I don't remember to edit it in, I'll leave this bit in just so I can mention that the thought process of putting that guy from Smiling Friends in for that whole hated that guy just turned into dust thing would have worked so appropriately right there. I don't remember if I'll remember to edit it in, but you know where my thought process is. Oh, now she's turning her gaze on the audience. That's not good. And then her father's probably going to see what's happening and be like, what the fuck? What the fuck is happening? And start panicking. Oh, well. I shatter to a million pieces like broken glass. Meanwhile, he's over there watching what's going on and, like I said, panicking. And now her attention is turned on him. Bye, Daddy! And now she stands alone. Rip. Yeah, okay. That's why the name's familiar. Because it is somebody that we have heard about before. However, I think that's the one that we haven't, like, met physically up to this point. Yeah, it's not like she can read it, that's just outright dyslexia. Again, this is jokes, if I'm offending actual dyslexics. This is one of those cases I will genuinely apologize, because, like, this is the exact version of dyslexia people think of, but I don't know if I'm correct or not, so people let me know, because... yeah, I feel like one of those cases I would actually feel bad if I offend somebody. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Okay, now I remember why the name was familiar. Okay, no. She is the witch of pride. It's the sin of pride. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. Now, seeing his flashback, now I remember this. She had actually met him, and most of the other witches told him to stay away because of what she could do. Which now I understand a little bit more. Yike. Apparently Julius can read some of them too, because I'm guessing he just went through some bullshit like Subaru did. Okay, yeah, that actually makes sense too, based on those two situations. It's not like just Subaru can read everything. Its books actually speak true to who is closest with the person. So maybe that means if they find Rem and Reinhardt, Rem and Julius's books, sorry, swordsman, that can actually help things. Among, obviously, anyone else who might have been forgotten, but yeah, just find the appropriate books and maybe it'd help. At least them remember. Maybe not like spread around to everybody, but I don't think they can rent it out and bring it back later. Maybe they can. Correct. Hey, you're either blaming somebody who was your ancestor or you in the faraway future. Yeah, that's probably true between people you've actually killed and people you fought with. Same with Subaru and Julius, probably, honestly. Damn, he is so cold. Like, I respect the man for being one of the smartest isekai protagonists, but he's so cold, just outright rejecting her affections. I mean, come on. Like, she might not be Amelia on her best day, but she's pretty damn good, so at least humor her. Not in that. Motherfucker. Like, we really should reestablish these people more often. I'm not into you, Betty, or Felt, or Petra like that in any way. Can we be serious for 5 seconds? Right. Now I'm remembering more so where this started. It was the raid on Mather's mansion and she came with Elsa. Right. Now it's coming to mind. Took 5 episodes, but I mean, it's not illogical. Like, if you want to think in a Disney point of view, you know, if animals see a child, not every animal is going to devour it. Some will actually have the intelligence to take care of it and raise it as their own, for better or worse. Like, Tarzan was one of those cases, since monkeys are allegedly the closest thing to us humans, like, biologically speaking, and in some points physically, but that's neither here nor there. That's why in the logic of Tarzan, whether it be the Disney written one or whatever came previously, that's how the story went. So something similar actually makes some sort of sense, I'm not gonna lie. Though she is giving the excuse that the reason that she didn't get eaten was the fact that she was born with the ability to befriend mobbies, but I'd like to just think it's because that sometimes things are chill. So, like, here's actually a better question when it comes to an orphan. Like, just in this hypothetical case, because he did just ask if the original parents' books were in this place, which they probably are, would she want to read them? But that brings up a bigger question. Would she even be able to read them? Because, like, sure, she's close to them by blood, but, like, does it more mean being close with somebody spiritually? Or just, like, acknowledging their existence in general? Because, like, he is aware of Typhon, and that's why he was able to read her book. Like, I think they ended off on a kind of friendly note after she disintegrated him the first time. But, yeah, it is quite a question, honestly. Like, even if it was there, which it probably is, could she read it because they dumped her off somewhere and left her to die? Yeah, she has no interest in reading those books, but she's also not mad at them for dumping her. Which, I get that perspective on things, honestly. Because, like, take for instance my lifelong hatred I will have for that cunt that broke me and my last girlfriend up, and I legitimately think I've been cursed by the cunt ever since. Like, wait, where'd my thought process start on this? Sorry. Yeah, no, where was my thought process? Like, I had a good thought process on that, and then it just left me. Uh, yeah. Okay, now I remember my thought process on that. She doesn't hold a vendetta against her parents for dumping her off in a way like I do for that bitch. So, like, she just doesn't care about it one way or the other. She has let it go. But in, say, my case, I would, like, not care what happened to her, but I would be overjoyed with the fact that she was dead. And, like, half of the time when I get a chance to wish upon a star at 11:11 or whatever fucking girl bullshit that has been come up with on the internet. Listen, I'm not gonna lie, I might use my wish for that. Hell, that situation is the exact reason why I would prefer to refer to their companion as just Anna. Because the full name is the one that got away. Magic. See, this is actually a funnier thought process, what she just brought up. What would happen if he dropped dead? Would a book just appear out of thin air? But that actually brings up another question. Has a book shown up at the very top shelf for every single life he has existed? That's actually very interesting to consider. Because what if they go up higher and higher and higher, and you see just like an entire area filled with Natsuki Subaru, Natsuki Subaru, Natsuki Subaru, Natsuki Subaru. Crazy to consider. W. She's so hopeful. She's so needy. But he feels bad for her having that much enthusiasm for whatever task he's about to ask. Bars. Meanwhile, she's going off on all this stuff like, disagreeing with half the stuff he's saying. Though it does sound kind of like she might be something similar to a spirit because she's extremely strong, like Betty. And it sounds like she made a lot of agreements with Flugel, the totally not Subaru master. So maybe she is a spirit and she just doesn't realize it. Granted, she's the hottest spirit thus far, if she is. Because, I mean, the only ones we see are those little ones that appear in Julius's hands and Biko. Amelia, I get what you're saying and that you're trying to defend whatever she's trying to hide, but he does kind of have a point too. Like, the actual master is no longer gone. And as far as she's concerned, he's the master. So therefore, if he's asking her for information, shouldn't she tell him what he wants to know? I'm just saying. He's mad that he got yelled at, and he just wants her to admit what she's hiding. She's still trying to bullshit him. Something tells me Mei Li actually has some kind of idea, though. Because she, was looking ahead while they were talking about all this shit. And now she's just looking up at her like, yeah, no, you're sus as fuck. See, you say that, but I'm guessing that Anna was correct, and there are 5 rules. And I'm not saying that Jola's hiding the 5th rule. I'm saying that she's a fucking airhead and probably forgot it. Maybe. What did Flugel try to tell her? Again, no blame, but okay, no. But the way he keeps turning her down, without any recourse is crazy. Affection's being thrown in his direction, he's just 9. Okay, again, I'm just saying, if the one that built the tower is not a very honest person, for better or worse reasoning, that still comes down to what I said earlier of the Subaru we see is not endgame Subaru. It's not current tense Subaru. Huh. She had an interesting thought to that. No, something tells me that it unlocked after you beat the first exam. Which, honestly, great video game logic to put into this kind of thing. Because I imagine there probably is games that have that kind of logic. You beat one level or some kind of test or whatever, and you're on another floor or another level, but you need to backtrack to get to the next one. It's kind of smart logic to it. So, Subaru and Betty are having a grand old time running up to the next floor. Why do I think they're going to all end up dead, and it's gonna reset to that point in the next episode. Okay, so they're in another wide open white room. They didn't die. That's a good start. Oh, hey, a sword. So, oh, oh, oh no. Okay, so if the intro says anything, this sword will connect to that Rain guy who is, the great-great-great-great-grandfather of Reinhardt. But that means the next test will be Dragon. Actually, now I understand why the thumbnail for the next episode is how it is. It's not a sword of selection. No, it's a test of swordsmanship. Well, you pulled Excalibur out of the stone, so to speak. Now the true test begins. Oh, and now it's being talked to. They're all being talked to by some kind of evil voice again. Yeah, this dude. Oh, hey. Didn't notice that his eyes were blue before. Yeah, that definitely tracks for the great-great-grandfather. And the man that she does not like is here in flesh, and she hates everything about that. Okay, you seem like you're within your own consciousness by this point. You can stop repeating the same thing. Just saying, bro. Meanwhile, he just yelled out, and she's scared shitless. Oh, hey, he can actually say words now. That actually sounds about right. Which is actually even funnier, considering Reinhardt's dad is an alcoholic. Okay, but no, never mind. Never mind. Like, the fact that him yelling at her knocked her out like that is crazy. But also good on the artist. Like, not just for the obvious, but also, catching the expressionism of being knocked the fuck out. Okay, so apparently he isn't immediately aware of what he's supposed to be there for other than his, original rambling when he, formed. But apparently, things are about to get heated. Okay, that was uncalled for. Calling Anna, Amelia, and Shula hot, sexy, respectively, factual. Calling Subaru a wuss is uncool. Okay, so apparently he does remember what he, came out saying. Well, Amelia is usually the smart one when it comes to stuff like this. Okay, so this at least might be easier for him than last time, because he only said that he needed to be moved one single step. So at least that's better than having to beat him in general. But something tells me it's not going to be much easier to make him budge a step. Unless he's the one going in for the attack. Then maybe technicalities, but... So he's just going to run with the playful name she told them before? Alright. Well, this next part of the exam is going to go a bit of an interesting direction, it does look like. Sorry. Because he does, but also doesn't remember what he's there for. And Chula remembers him fully. But I suppose it doesn't really matter if he remembers what he's, actually, who he actually is. As long as he remembers that he's strong, and he's supposed to be running some kind of trial bullshit. How will that work out for the rest of them? Well, at least Subaru isn't the one that's going to have to do the sword fighting. It looks like Julius is going to take that over. Which is a good thing, right? Right. Right. You can let me know on where you think that's going to go in the comment section down below, because obviously, I could only assume that after some struggle, Julius will be able to do the task and they'll be able to get by. But to what extent is effort going to be needed to give? That's the real question. And matter of factly, he kept bringing up some sort of follower that Julius was sounding like. But was that follower Julius himself? And the man remembers it from before he died? Or was it Julius's lineage that was this man's follower? Suppose that'll probably also be gone over, you know, in another episode, probably the next episode, maybe the episode after that. We will see. But for now, let me know your thoughts on all that stuff in the comment section down below, as always, as well, of course, about any other shows, movies, etc. I should check out this season, next season, or in general. Please do not forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the other channels in the description, ring bells like Facebook, follow Twitter, Blue Sky, TikTok, Patreon, and Twitch. Subscribe to the Patreon and Twitch if you want benefits, primarily the unedited versions of the stuff I upload over here. And until next time, it's been the Blaze Gang with Kinks, Kritique, Sound, Ta-ta for now. Peace.